Today is your book, this happiness book, page 37. We are still studying the sutta here called the Sigalo Vada Sutta. This is the closing part, the conclusion. It is Sigalo Vada Sutta. Sigalo Vada means advice, or Vada means advice, to Sigala. Sigala is the name of this young man who just took over his family. The father passed away, and the father is very wise, make him perform some ritual. But then the Buddha came along and explained the meaning of worshipping the six directions. That is the connecting point. So the sutta is a long sutta. It starts off with the story of Sigala worshipping the six directions, follow the father's instruction. The father is a stream winner. The father is very wise. He knows that the son, usually children won't listen to the father after a while, So, although the father is a stream winner, the son is still young and a bit pleasure-loving, playful. So, although the father has passed away, he still could teach the son. This is the amazing thing about the father. Posthumous teaching. In other words, even though after he has died, he is able to teach Dharma to his son, through the Buddha. By telling the son, you worship the sixth direction to remember me. He knows that when you put the son in the open, because the Indians, they got to do all this in the open, early in the morning. That's when the Buddha also comes out to collect his alms food. And he also knows that's the day he'll meet this young man Sigala anyway. So then the Buddha goes up to him and says, do you know what you're doing? And that's the changing point. Do you know what you're doing? So we must always ask ourselves, Buddhists, do I know what I'm doing? Let's say when you bow down 3 times, what does it mean? You recite all this puja, what does it mean? All this can be explained. So the word meaning is very important, because anything we do without meaning is useless, right? Except, maybe your normal daily routine, but even then, all those things you do, there is a purpose. Who gives the purpose? We give the purpose to it. Okay, very important. Some people like to tell you, everything happened for a reason. So you heard that. The question is, they don't know what they're talking, You must ask yourself, what do I mean by this? What do I mean by saying everything has a reason? Then sometimes you don't know, then you ask another question. What is meant by reason here? Who gives the reason? Okay, look at this problem again. Everything happens for a reason. If everything happens for a reason and you just stop there, it can be confusing, It can mean that we have no choice, We are fated. It's not like that. In Buddhism, we never say fated. Even fated also, you can still change. So, we give the reason. Reasoning is a human ability. Reason don't happen like that. Reason must have a mind, right? So, we come to a very important word here. This is the key idea in Buddhism. Always remember, the mind. Right? We have body, we have mind. The mind is what makes us wise. The body holds us back. We have the body are the 5 senses: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body. The 5 senses. 5 senses are physical. The eyes are physical. Although we see light, in science they regard light as matter. See? Matter means physical. So even sound. We don't see sound, we hear sound, it is also regarded as physical. So Buddhism talked like that 2,500 years ago, like modern science, Anyway, so our body is physical, so because it is physical, if I sit too long, I feel pain, tired, The normal, natural suffering because of the body. You can't really stop that. You can change position, but you cannot stop that suffering. Mind is different. Mind is learning all the time. The body also learns, but after a while, the body decays, grows old. But the mind is always a child. No matter how old we are, our mind is still a child if we don't study, right? So you notice young people, they know more than us. After that, they start telling us what to do. They're better at using phones than we are, and so on. So the mind is the learning aspect of us. It's the mind that becomes Buddha. It's the mind that brings us awakening and freedom from suffering. So you have two kinds of religion you can choose. One is they just teach you about the body. You just bow down, don't ask questions. You just do this, don't ask questions, and just be a body Buddhist. No mind. The other one is the mind Buddhist. That means you understand why you do it. You bow down, but it's meaningful. And when it's meaningful, you feel happy, Otherwise, you just follow, and then you notice all those funeral, they get all those professional chanters, the priests, the chanting is going on, nobody pay attention, everybody's hoping you finish very fast, and then you pay a lot of money for those people, Why don't you just pay them and say, don't come, and everyone's happy. So, that's not the mind Buddhist, You're not cultivating your mind. So, to be a Buddhist means you understand the mind is the key idea behind everything. Whenever you're not sure, remember these two little words. Mind made. M-I-N-D, mind, and then hyphen, made. Everything in this world is mind made. When the Buddha say world, here he means the five senses. Of course, you can include the mind as the sixth sense, but we just prolong that for a while. So the world are our five senses. What we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, that's our world. We create this world. We want it to be happy or sad or suffering, it's up to us. We can change the world. That's the meaning. So change the world doesn't mean you go out there and change everyone. You can't, because the world is going on millions of years, You have to change all the millions of years. You can't, impossible. Here you change the world that are your five senses and your mind. So that's the meaning of mind. Very important. Everything is mind-made. So if you see something you don't understand, you think it's a ghost, it's mind-made. Because, for example, the Malays, they talk about punyana, but the Chinese don't have this, the Russians don't have all this. Somebody on Facebook, very interesting, my Facebook, somebody wrote this, the 7-month festival, how come only the Chinese seem to pray all this funny thing? Are they the only ones to go to hell? Very intelligent question, isn't it? Europeans don't pray, other people don't pray like that, So that's a very interesting question. Sometimes in that question you get the answer also. So it's a cultural thing. It's not real Dhamma, Buddhism try to point right to the mind, or sometimes we say the heart. In Asia, same, heart, mind, heart, refer to the same thing. Actually, the keyword is mind. So, coming back to Sigala, so he's worshipping all the six directions with the body. So Buddha asked, do you know what you're doing? He said, I don't know, my father asked me to do it. As far as otherwise, if father can't teach, the Buddha will come and teach. So here also, I'm not teaching you, actually if you listen carefully, it's the Buddha is teaching you, because we are learning the suttas. As I'm teaching you, I'm also learning. So the Buddha is teaching all of us. Okay? So the Buddha said, okay, this is the meaning. Let's look at the meaning. Look at page 37, the meaning of the six directions. There is a kind of diagram also. Where is that? The diagram. Later I'll show you the diagram. The six directions. Can you see that? Everyone got the page? The six directions. Right? Can? Okay. And how young house lord. So this how in those days they dressed house lord. It means you got a house. Okay? And he's a young man. So it's called young house lord. Should the noble disciple cover the six direction? Cover means protect. So the Buddha used the word noble disciple. This is how the true followers of the Buddha protect the six directions. Young house lord, these should be regarded or should be known as the six directions. Namely, look at the six direction. The map is on page 22. Can you see the map there, the diagram at the top, 22? This is what the ancient Indian believe. You see, they got the different directions. Can you locate east? East is 11 o'clock. Alright, can you see the arrow pointing? Okay. Now, how do the Indians get their direction? Remember, I told you in the, I think of a month ago, the Indians, they get up in the morning, they stand and face the sun, rising sun. That's the east. They call it the front direction, Pubba or Purba in Sanskrit. Front direction. They don't have a compass like in China. Okay, so they always remember front direction. They look at the sun, they remember the mountains, so they more or less know the eastern direction. Now once you face the east, then you have right hand direction. Right hand in Pali is Dakina. Dakina means right. Dakina also means, what direction is this? If you face east here, south. Okay? And then the back is west. Sunset, west. And then left hand is north. Okay? And how come you get 6? Direction below is called the Neder. All the words are there. You can see Neder, the spelling is in the diagram on page 22, the bottom there, Neder, N-A-D-R. And then above, right above is called Zenith. You can see the word at the top also, Zenith. Okay, these are all modern scientific terms. So these are the 6 directions. Okay? And then the ancient Indians, they believed there are gods everywhere and they start worshipping all these gods. But in Buddhism, we say, oh, this all invented later, because the directions were there long before the gods were there. So the Buddha said, these are the 6 directions. So now, there's a big word here, demythologize. Myth means story. Demythologize means to make a story meaningful in our life. So the Buddha said, you worship 6 directions, it's just a ritual, you see. But you can see the 6 directions in your own life. That means it's no more a story, it's no more legend, it's no more superstition, it's something real. So that's what he means by these are the 6 directions. What are the 6 directions? Okay, now you look at the sutta. Number 1, parents should be regarded as the what direction? East. Okay, just spend a moment and think, why do you think the Buddha said parents are the east? Any idea? What east is what direction? Sunrise. Rising sun. Now, can you see the connection? Parents are like the rising sun, like the beginning of the day, because they give us birth. Makes sense, isn't it? Very easy to remember. Parents are the east. You see rising sun? When you worship the direction, you should be worshipping your parents, honoring your parents, remembering your parents. That's the meaning. So it's very commonsensical, very meaningful, very useful. Instead of worshipping the 6 directions, oh, God this, God that, help me, and you don't know whether they help you or not, But here, when you bow to the east, you think, thank you, my parents, for... Why are you so grateful to our parents? Number 1, they gave us this human body. Otherwise, we won't be human, right? Yeah, we have good karma, but you need a human body. So our parents are that karmic connection. They give us a human body. Now, not all parents can take care of you all your life, but I mean, the first 7 years especially. The second reason why we're grateful to our parents is because they really took care of us. They love us the first 7 years. This is called the humanizing phase. They make us human. It is well known that children who do not have parental love during the first 7 years, they don't know how to love. Or worse still, they are lost in the jungle, animals take care of them, they become animals. They're not humans. Human body, the mind is animal. That means animal. Right? Okay, now a bit of very bad news. Actually, not everybody outside that you see are humans, Now, I'm not talking about ghosts. Yeah, they have a human body, but they don't behave like humans. You go to a train station, people cannot not come out of the train and everyone go in rushing like gods. So they will behave like animals. And we see somebody fallen down in pain, we never help. We don't care. Or worse, we steal from that person. What kind of, not human, we say not human. Even some Chinese dialect, they scold people as not human. So in a sense, it's quite true, Because this person who can do all these evil things, they are like the asuras, very violent. And then there are people who go around killing people just like that. You don't even know these people. These are like the hell beings, violent. And then there are those who get caught up with all kinds of addiction, drug addiction, gambling, computers. These are like the hungry ghosts. You see the way they behave, very different from human beings. They're not separate worlds, In our human world, you see all these kind of beings. The animal, the hell being, the pretas and the asuras. So we are not yet human. That's why we recite the precepts, Because the precepts, 5 precepts, prevent us from falling below the human level. You break the 5 precepts, you fall into the animal world. If you keep on habitually breaking the 5 precepts, next life will be one of the subhuman, lower, below the human world. Not because of anyone punish you, it's because your own habit, you see. You violently kill, first precept against killing. If you enjoy killing, hell beings. You enjoy stealing, taking advantage of people, are asuras. And then sexual misconduct, like animals, right? And then lying, we don't care about the truth. Can be any of these beings, And the last one, the mind is confused and so on. Right? That's even worse. You get stuck in all this, and then in this subhuman world. In next life, the Buddha said, if you constantly get drunk, madness will be coming effect next life. So the 5 precepts protect us, keep us on the human level like this. Okay? So, right, so come back to the East. Then number 2, teachers. Now these are the ordinary teachers, not the Buddhist teachers, not yet anyway. Teachers should be regarded as the South, right hand. These are our school teachers, our first teachers, even parents also are our first teachers. So they're like the South, right hand of respect. Okay. And by the way, dakina also means to give what is proper to the teacher. So dakina is special. It's a gift to the teacher. It doesn't mean anything else in this case. In other words, you support the teacher. This one is not the spiritual teacher. General meaning here. Okay. And then next one, number 3. Look at number 3. It's very interesting. Wife and children. If you like, family also can. And what direction is that? The west. Okay, west is the direction at the back. Here again, very easy logic. The family is behind you. What does this mean? You protect the family, right? Support the family. It's behind you, the west. Here it says wife and children because the Buddha is talking to a man. Of course, if you're a woman, there will be family, husband, children. Yeah, very important. When you read sutta, you got to see the context. You got to make adjustments. So here, for example, the Buddha is talking to this man. Of course, you'll say wife. So when you talk to public, you say this means family. So you must have all that kind of understanding. Right? Number 4. This one's the northern direction. Friends and companions. North, Uttara. Now, Uttara, north, means the excellent direction. So, we all treat our friends sometimes better than our relatives. Or our friends treat us closer to our relatives. So, they should be excellent people in that sense. We should be nice and kind to them. They are the direction, the left. It is also said, the scouts, they shake hands with the left hand. They say why, the usual excuse is left hand is nearer the heart. So, your friends, close friends are, in a sense, your true relatives are. There's an interesting saying in the Dhammapada, Visasa Paramanyati. Your true relatives are those you are most familiar with, or those who are really close to you are your true relatives. Of course, you can interpret this, twist around and say, your relatives should be those you are very close to, also can. In other words, your relatives, you should make an effort to be close to them, know them. But the general meaning is, you find some people who are very kind to you, even your relatives are not so kind like that. This is our karma, like people we're close to in different parts of the society. So those are your true friends. Right? Friends need not be blood relatives, it can be anyone. So the Buddhist idea is that family is not purely blood. Family must be Dharma based. Once you go to a temple, if you're a Buddhist, once you walk out of your house, everyone you meet is a relative. And this is not talking nice, Remember the Buddha's teaching about rebirth in the first chapter of the Anguttara. The Buddha say, we have lived in this world for so many times, so many rebirths. It's impossible that we have not been fathers or mothers to each other, brothers and sisters to each other, uncles and aunts, and so on. We're all interconnected somehow. So when you go out there into the world, you help somebody, you're helping a past relative. Somehow, there is that connection. Now imagine if we understand this and accept this kind of idea, we treat people more nicely. We respect people more. Now this is where sometimes you notice religion can separate people. You look at all these Rohingya people in Myanmar. Why are they suffering? Not because they're Muslim, because they're poor. Because they're not educated. Imagine if they're educated and they got a lot of money, everybody wants them, Right? Of course, being Muslim is more problem for them because they're in the Buddhist country, you see. My point is, if everybody don't think in religious terms and try to help them, there'll be less problems of all this kind of migration and so on. Right? So we have the ideas in Buddhism which we must practice. Even though we cannot practice now doesn't mean it's not good. In the future, there are people, our children, other generation, they use these ideas when you go to United Nations and so on. And these are the kind of ideas they will want to use. And Buddhism are full of this kind of ideas. A few months ago, someone from Australia messaged me. Says, my wife is working with this national Buddhist organization in Australia, representing all the Buddhists. And she has to present the Buddhist view about governance. What the Buddha teach about good government. Can you please give me something? What did the Buddha say about this? Of course, we are the resource center. So I sent her the notes. She was very happy. And these are being spoken in the parliament, It's the parliament committee. So you see there, people also want to know what does the Buddha talk about peace and so on. And here we are studying all these things for ourselves, right? And this is the kind of thing that makes us see the world as more than merely ourselves, as more than merely our family. That's why when you go to a temple, if it's a very friendly, very good fellowship, you feel at home. This word at home is very important. We are not live home people, we are not renunciants. So we go from home to home. We go from the biological home to the spiritual home. Right now, you see, we are like a family. We're sitting here, listening to each other more peacefully. We're not fighting, right? We are a family, a spiritual family now. Something like that. Yeah? And this idea must carry on when you meet other people, when you are gathered together. In fact, in Asia, this is a very important idea. When people visit your house, you treat them very well. You give them nice food. First thing you ask is, have you eaten, right? Because we want to make sure they are comfortable, they're healthy. This is all Buddhist teaching. The term is Patisantara Garavata. Garavata means respect. There are 4 kinds of respects. First respect is to the Buddha. Second respect is to the Dharma. Third respect is to the Sangha, meaning the Arhats and the saints. The fourth respect, Patisantara, means hospitality. Asian society, hospitality is very important. This is the 4th kind of respect. We respect the guest. It's not a Chinese or Indian idea, it's a Buddhist idea. Hospitality. Right? Okay, so we're talking about friends and companions. Okay? Then the next one, okay, now we got something contextual, something from the Buddha's time. Number 5, slaves and workers should be regarded as the neda. Some translators say, wow, slaves, this is terrible, we should not use the word. We should change the word because it's modern already. Now, once you change like that, you change the suttas, serious problem, Okay, you cannot simply change. No? But when you explain, it's different. Okay, the Pali said dasa. Dasa means slave because in the Buddha's time there were slaves. So the Buddha, in a very important way, telling the family people, treat your slaves well. How did the slaves come to being? Because every religion they got these slaves. Even today, some of them. Number one, they owe people money. You could not pay. Your whole family is to serve these creditors. Serve for many generations. But one good news is this: from the social study of Indian culture, the slaves are better treated than the hired workers. Can you imagine that? Because you see, the slaves, they live with the family, So sometimes they can be quite bossy, Because they say, I have a headache, you don't have to work, Not like the hired worker. Hired worker must work, whereas the slave can take off any time. Okay? So in a sense, they're well treated. And there are many stories where these slaves are very clever, very wise. And some of them will also become rich, they buy their freedom, or they become monks. But first they must be freed from their slavery, and then they become monks and nuns. So you have this kind of idea, dead slavery in India. And then there are, of course, slaves because of war, things like that. So some families have slaves, the king also got slaves. So the Buddha says, you have slaves, it's your duty to treat them well. Later we'll find out how. Here the Buddha is saying, treat them well. Slaves and workers. Right? So these workers are those you pay, hired workers. The neda. Neda is the bottom. Bottom doesn't mean you step on them. Bottom means they support you. Like the ground. You got no ground, you fall. You need the ground. And the ground in Buddhism is a very important symbol. So whenever you walk on the ground, you can reflect, wow, this is my good karma. You know how many people in the world, earthquake, landslide, they don't have the ground to stand on. You must have good karma. The earth under you don't move, when you walk. Well, the earth does move in a sense, the whole world turns, but it doesn't swallow you up, So there are stories, that people have very bad karma, the earth opened up and swallowed them. I don't know how this can happen, but it just means this person has done such a bad karma, no more good karma to support them. The ground of karma is gone. So your good karma is your ground where you stand firm, stable, peaceful. So a lot of things we take for granted, but remember, there's so many things to be happy with. The ground we stand on, the ground we sit on. Okay? Then the last one, number 6. Recluses and Brahmins should be regarded as the zenith, direction above. Okay, these are the true religious teachers. Recluses are the monks, those ordinary monks, if you like. Brahmins here are not the priests, The Buddha used this term purposely to refer to the arhats and the saints, the streamliners, once returners, non-returners, and arhats. So those are the Brahmins here. Okay? And the recluses are the ordinary monks who practice the teaching and keep to the rules. Okay? If they don't keep the rules, don't respect them. You have the right not to respect them. Okay? If they keep the rules, then you respect them. Of course, if you are generous, you can respect them, but keep your distance. Whenever we respect the monks, the ordinary monks, the meaning is not because they are more powerful than us. There's no such thing about power here. It's about reminding them of their robes. But whenever you bow down, if they are well educated in the Dhamma, they know you bow down because they are working hard to find awakening in this life. It's because they are keeping to the rules. It's because they are keeping the precepts and they teach Dhamma. If you have problems, you can talk to them. That's why you bow to them, because they are taking the highway, straight road to Nirvana. That's what they're supposed to do. So whenever you bow down to them, you are reminding them that. And some of them bow back to you, because they also remind us that we also can go for the same direction, the path to awakening, we also can attain at least stream winning in this life. If we understand the nature of stream winning, impermanence, and then we say, yes, I want to be a stream winner in this life. I don't want to be reborn as an animal or subhuman in the next life. Right? That's why we put our palms together, to remind each other that we are noble. We are fortunate to be human beings, because if we don't practice, then keep the 5 precepts, we will go below. We will lose our human status. Okay? So this is the zenith, the direction, highest direction. Okay? So this is the summary. Okay, now let's look at the first one, 28. All very systematic, all 5, 5, 5, 5 duties. 5 duties parents show you, 5 duties you should reply. So this is sometimes called reciprocal ethics. Reciprocal ethics. Gratitude. Okay? Gratitude. Yeah? Section 38. In 5 ways, young house lord, parents in the east, front quarter, should be ministered to by the son or a daughter. Notice daughter also mentioned. Considering, having been supported by them, I will support them in return. So this is what the Buddha is telling this young man. Of course, the father passed away already, but so who is the Buddha talking to now? Well, he's talking to us. When we study the sutta, the Buddha said, here you are, your parents have supported you, now you should support your parents. This is a basic idea not taught in school. So that's why you see in Singapore, lots of parents are abandoned, they stay in old folks' home, not very happy. So children, they have all the money, but they don't want to be reminded of old age. Sometimes because of the marriage, right? So there you are, it's a basic reminder. Number 2, we must consider, I will do their work for them, right? This when the child is old and strong enough. I will do their work for them. Especially, those days, lay families, they have to work. Maybe they are farmers or whatever. So the children have to learn and take over, right? Number 3, C, I will keep the family tradition, right? So notice here, family tradition, if there are good tradition in the family, keep it going. Like for example, New Year, everybody come back, talk to each other, have some communication. It's a wonderful tradition, something good like that to do. And respect for each other, meeting each other occasionally. Now I know some families, every New Year, they're a big family, they'll gather together, very big. They cannot stay in one house, they got to go to some bowling alley, play bowling and so on. And there are so many generations, you got to bring a book and record down who are your relatives. I mean, for example, we have a family and we must know how to treat those who are older than us. Then D, I will be worthy of my heritage, right? Because every family has got some, usually the richer families, there is legacy. It could be money, could be the house, could be a lot of things. We must be worthy of it. In other words, we should not break precept, we should not do such thing that will shame the family, right? So all these are very simple teachings. Nothing about nirvana here, actually it's all talking about daily life. And then last one, number 5, I will make offerings, dakina, to the dead and departed. Wow, look at this. Remember our ancestors in the proper way. And we have done that last month, remember? How we did. Very important thing, we must have lots of loving kindness when we remember the departed. Yeah? Why must we have a lot of loving kindness? Because really there is no such thing as a dead person. They're all reborn somewhere else. Meaning, they can sometimes, some of them say they're born as pretas, hungry ghosts. They can come here and then notice us, They can't communicate, but they feel good when you remember them. And you dedicate merits to them. They feel happy. Once they feel happy, they can change their bad karma. Happiness changes karma. Remember, loving kindness can change your karma. No high lama, no priest, no one in the world can change your karma for you. Only you can change your karma through loving kindness. Loving kindness is called the karma limiter. Limits your karma. Because if you have a lot of loving kindness, you say, I should not be breaking the precept. Right? Loving kindness is what prevents you from breaking the precept. loving kindness prevents the effect of negative karma on you. You know, on Facebook, sometimes even emails, some of these people are very nasty, you know. They know we are Buddhists, we don't fight back, you know, so they become even more tough. They write some terrible things, bad words, you know. So I always reply and say, I'm sure there's a reason for you to say all this. May you be well and happy. Basically, I say that. After I get a reply, totally different tones. I'm sorry, I was so upset just now, you know. Right? So you can see, with loving kindness, you can change people. This is the meaning. Hate is not overcome by hate. Only by love it is overcome. It's an ancient teaching by all the Buddhas. Alright, so those are the children's duty. 5 duties. The Buddha is very good. All 5. Then, what is the parents' duty? The parents should have done all these 5 things. Look at 28.2. The parents' young's house lot as the is, having been ministered thus by the son or the daughter, show them their compassion in these 5 ways. You see, but actually, first, we should read this part first. But the Buddha mentioned the son's duty first because he's talking to the son, right? So, the duty of parents, F, they restrain him or her from bad, right? That's our task as parents. We teach our children to avoid bad things. What are the bad things? Anything that is rooted in greed, hate, delusion, right? Greed, hate, very easy to remember. Delusion is tricky, you know, especially if we are religious. You know, the problem with us as Buddhists, if we are religious, we can always be tricked by delusion. This is where the people who don't have religion, they're not deluded, they're less deluded. I don't believe this, I don't believe that. The problem is they've got no belief, you know. And then when they're going to die, they start worrying. It's too late, you know. Then they believe anything. That's terrible, you know. So delusion means you see something which is not there. Or you see something but you think it's something else. That's delusion. You know, my website, I have some connection with these Filipinos, and they're very religious Filipinos. You know. They're the most Christian country in Southeast Asia because they're conquered by the Spanish, and there are 104 million of them. You know, can you imagine that many? 6,000 islands, and you see their website, all kinds of holy pictures. You know, one of them show a picture like cloud. They say, "Oh, look, there's some Virgin Mary is there." And then another one say, say amen to this. And so all religious. And after that you see some rather unmentionable photographs and so on. Everything mixed up, you know. So you wonder, what kind of belief is all this, you know? So I can't help it. So I said, please, it's all in the mind, you know. You can't just say, you see a cloud and then you say it's some holy figure. For example, there's this story, I don't know how true it is. Somebody went to town in Singapore. They look at this glass wall, the big building. You see some kind of like image of it, you know. So the Buddhists say, it's Kuan Yin, you know. And the Catholics say, it's Virgin Mary, you know. Right? Everybody say their own belief, you know. So there you are. So we all think, I mean, it's okay, as long as you're peaceful, you can think what you like, and act with compassion, that's fine, okay. So we, in other words, create this good feeling. But remember, this is all delusion, you know. But this is, if you're not hurting people, it's okay. But if you really know well, you say, it looks like Kuan Yin. Okay? Looks like. That means not real. So in your mind, you say, okay, to me, I think of Kuan Yin. That's okay, that's fine. But when you say, I think of Kuan Yin, what are you talking about? If you just think of Kuan Yin as a figure, it's meaningless, you know. Kuan Yin is compassion. Compassion represented in a human form. Kuan Yin image has only one purpose. When you look at Kuan Yin image, you reflect compassion inside you. Kuan Yin is compassion. So you must think compassion, feel compassion, act compassion. Then you will understand the meaning of Kuan Yin. That's the meaning of the mind is superior. Okay. Next one. G, they exhort him to do good. Right, so notice first, don't do bad. 5 no's, don't kill, don't steal, no sexual misconduct, no lying, don't get intoxicated. Then as parents, we exhort children to do good. 5 things. We got Panchasila, Panchadharma, 5 precepts, 5 virtues. Some sutta, they talk longer about the 5 precepts. They say, having stopped killing, you must practice compassion. You must show. You don't do it. You also show compassion. Right? And then having stopped stealing, you must show generosity. Like that. Having stopped practicing sexual misconduct, you must show contentment, respect. Having given up taking the not given, falsehood, you tell the truth at the right time, which is helpful. Having given up drunkenness, you clear your mind, train your mind. So those are the positive qualities. You teach good things to your children. I'm very happy. Some of my friends, they come to meditate. We have a couple of people who really like meditation. So, Many Center is a very small place. So these people come every week, They come for meditation. They meditate on their own. And then they tell me that their children also meditate because they meditate. So this is where the parents set the example the children follow. That's the meaning here. Good example. Okay, next. H. They have him trained in the profession. There you are. In other words, we ask our children, okay, what do you want to learn? We send them to the proper schools, educate them. Okay? Alright, then I is a bit interesting. Look at I. They arrange for his marriage to a suitable wife. Again, notice, Buddha says suitable wife because talking to the young man, is it? Alright, so we can say suitable husband also. Now, this is Buddha's time. Alright, so this is social teaching. This kind of teaching, you must know the context. Of course, this doesn't mean, you cannot go around and one Sunday you go to a temple, every Sunday you go to one temple and say, Sikala Vada Sutta, the Buddha said parents must arrange for children's marriage. You can't say that. That's not what Buddha means here. What the Buddha means is you prepare them for marriage. Maybe teach them things or, help them to socialize, introduce to a lot of good friends, something like that. All right? So, prepare them. Okay, so these are parents' duties. And then J is the last one, next page. They hand over his inheritance in due time. Right? So at the right time, they hand over the family property. See here, if you don't do that now, after that, when the parents pass away, a lot of problems, right? A lot of fighting and so on. So this all must be properly done. The lawyers will be very happy when they say this. So parents hand over the inheritance in due time. In these 5 ways, young house lord, the parents, as the ease having been ministered, thus by the son or daughter, show them their compassion. So the ease is covered by him. Made safe and secure. Notice made safe and secure. That's how you protect the ease. 5 duties of children, 5 duties of parents. Okay? Any quick questions here? Clear enough? Okay, next pair. Teacher and student. This one is about schooling, okay? 29. In 5 ways, young house lord teachers, as the south, the right quarter, should be ministered to by the student thus. So this is how the student should respect the teacher. This is about the school, okay? You find in Thailand, you see all this in the schools, by rising in salutation. I remember when I was in school, teacher came and you all stand up. I don't know if they still do it up here or not. We rise up and say good morning, sir or madam, or teacher, right? And then B, by waiting upon them. That means if they need anything, just help them. C, by eagerness to listen, to learn, in other words. Right? Very important as a student. D, by personal service, right? Helping the teacher yourself. E, by learning the arts or profession with respect. In order to do it properly, not in a rude way. Okay. So this idea of respect is very important. Yeah? And the teachers, in turn, what are the duties of a teacher? F, they discipline him or her so that he is well disciplined. Discipline is a key word. G, they teach him so that he's well taught and learned. Now I remember there's so many wonderful things, my secondary school teacher, especially from standard 3, we call it standard in Malaysia those days, and secondary school, these teachers really take the trouble to teach extra things. And I still remember those are the qualities that helped me a lot to become a monk and then to teach Dharma to you all. H, they ensure that he is learned in every art and learning. Now, Buddhist time, they have to learn a lot of things, right? In other words, have a well-grounded education. I, they introduce him to friends and companions. This is a very important aspect. You see, even in the story of in China, you see those ancient stories, and the teacher will say, okay, you go to this place, see this teacher, mention my name, you can stay there. So we have connection, network. Modern time we say networking, all right? J, they provide him with safety in every quarter. There you are. This is all part of networking, right? Introduce to other students, people, and then make sure they are safe wherever they go. So this is the teacher's task. All right. So here you are, 5 duties of students, 5 duties of teachers. The direction, what direction is this? The south. The south is protected. And then one more direction. Section 30. Okay, this is husband and wife. In 5 ways, young house lord, the wife, as the west, the back quarter, should be ministered to by the husband thus. Husband should treat her with respect. Respect means you accept the person as she is. Respect. By not showing her discourtesy, not to be rude to her. Very simple advice. C, by not being unfaithful to her, being loyal, being close to her. By handing over authority to her. Okay, give her some power, so to get the house, things like that, right? And then, okay, E is a very wonderful one. A lot of women like this one. By providing her with adornments. Okay? Occasionally buy something nice. By adornments. And then the wife, in response, what does she do? F, she manages her work very well. Okay? Okay, so this is where you see in an Indian society where husband is a farmer, works out there, mother, wife works at home. Nowadays you find sometimes couples, they both go out and work. Then you make adjustments basically to respect each other. Sometimes the wife takes the role, and the husband takes the role. So this 5 plus 5, these 10 points, they are interchangeable. Next one is what? G, she is hospitable to those around her, such as servants and husband's relatives, right? So she should be friendly to others in the family as well as the husband's family. H, she's not unfaithful to him. This one same, both sides, to be faithful to each other. I, she looks after the household stores and property, right? Take care of that. What the husband brings back, take good care of it. So she's the manager. Okay. And then J, she is skillful and diligent in all her duties. Right? So once you have this kind of arrangement, you find everybody, the family works well. Now, I'm going to jump a bit here. You see, how does a family become very happy? There's some very short sutta. Very short. I'll just point to you 4 points. I think it's the very first sutta. Look at page 11. This page 11, this sutta is divided in 2 parts. Part 1, part 2. There's only 2 parts. Part 1 is it says the rich family that will fail, the rich family that will become poor if they don't do 4 things. Look at it. First one, they do not look for what is lost. Can you see that?
Yes.
Number 2, they do not repair what is worn out. Number 3, they drink and eat excessively. They get drunk, overeat, overdrink. Okay. Number 4, they put authority in an immoral woman or man. Wrong person take charge, right? On the positive side, look, number 1, This is where a family that is rich will stay rich or become richer, become famous. Number 5 actually, they look for what is lost. You lose something, look for it, including lost relatives, by the way. They repair what is worn out. They do not drink and eat excessively. They put authority in a virtuous man or woman. Okay, so there you are. See, number 7 talks about health. No? Okay, so that's a quick look. All right, then going to finish already. So I finished that part already. No? Okay, one more, then we have a break. All right. 31. It's time. In 5 ways, young house lord, friends and companions as the north should be ministered to by the son of family thus. So treat your friends with generosity, kind, generous to them. Right? See, we come here after this, we have some nice things to eat. Quite generous to the host here. Be with pleasant or courteous speech. You talk very nice and kind to each other, polite. See, with beneficial conduct, looking after the welfare, being kind to each other, beneficial conduct. D, with impartiality, treating them as you treat others like you treat yourself. And then F, by not going back on his word. Right? If we make a promise, we keep it. You know, this is traditional Asian culture. If we talk about Asian culture, these are slowly being forgotten nowadays, you know. That's why this teaching is very important. Right? So every family should sooner or later tell the children, especially when they are still in school, secondary school. And then parents, the friends and companions in return, how do they behave? F, they guard him when he is heedless. So, right? If you have friends, we protect the friends. When they are careless or having problems, they guard him, his property when he is heedless. They take care of his things. Right? They are a refuge to him when he is in fear or danger. Right? Sometimes he is in some difficulty. We protect him. And then they do not abandon him in his troubles. We help them. Alright? And you'll be surprised. A lot of people need our help. Especially in Singapore as people grow older, so they're all alone, so we have to help them. So it's very important. So you go to a temple or any kind of Buddhist group, you take care of the old people. Make friends. So the old people become friends with each other, you support each other, you work together. Right, so in this way, you friends, this is true friendship. This is an example of how Buddhists can become true friends. Okay, we'll stop here for a while. Okay, we're going to finish off now. Page 39 at the bottom. Number 32. So this time, relationship between the employer-employee, master and worker. Look at 32. In 5 ways, young house lords, slaves and hired workers, or employees and employers, and charges, as the neder is the direction below, should be ministered by the master or employer. So these are employer's duties. Or in the case, let's say if you employ mates, then you are the one. So these are roles. They're not actually people, they are roles. And it's very good to tell these people who employ mates. A, by allocating work according to the strength of the worker. Okay? Mates. Okay? Those mates that you... By providing him or her with food and wages. By attending to the medical and health needs. So you got health benefits, And then D, by sharing excellent taste with them, right? So we don't give them lousy food. Sometimes we give them good food also, because their health is important to us. And E, by giving them timely breaks. You notice the Buddha gives all these very simple, common sense idea, nothing magical, or even religious. These are proper duties as a Buddhist. So remember, when people tell you Buddhist or religious, look at this sutta. Very practical, right? To be practical also is to be Buddhist, right? We don't need to be religious. We need to be Buddhist. We need to be compassionate. Okay, compassion, not religious, I mean, compassion has no religion. Compassion means kind. When you see someone fall on the roadside, you didn't say, "Are you a Buddhist?" And then after that, say, "Yes, I'm a Buddhist." Okay, which temple do you go to? And it's the same temple. Which teacher do you go to? And then the poor man. So, unconditional means the person is there, you help. Okay, unconditional. All right. Then now the duties of the employee, the worker. They rise before him. That means before the employer, before the boss. They retire after him. They take only what is given. Right? This is the safest thing to do in Singapore. You take anything not given, you're in serious trouble. Don't take. It's not yours. I always remember Buddha's teaching. It's not yours. This is one of my favorite sayings whenever I teach in the universities. The students very intelligent. I say, you've got very good degrees. You've got good jobs. One mistake can mess your life. I say, whenever you see something, you're a lawyer, you got $10 million in your charge. Remember, it's not yours. The Buddha says it's not yours. Very simple advice, right? But of course, Buddha means something deeper. Even this body is not ours. We cannot use it forever. I got time limit, right? So it's not. Remember, it's not yours. Right? And then they do their work well. And then J, they spread about his good name and praise. This is a basic corporate ethics. You talk good about your boss. All right. So these are the things. All right. Then the last pair. The real spiritual teacher, Dharma teacher, and the students. This is about us now. Okay. 33. In 5 ways, young house lord, recluses and Brahmins, religious nunciants and practitioners, as the zenith above, should be ministered to by the son of family thus. By physical acts of loving kindness, when you do things with loving kindness, of words with loving kindness, when you talk also loving kindness, by thoughts of loving kindness, body, speech and mind, loving kindness to every one of us here. D, by keeping the house open to them, right? In other words, anytime you can come. Of course, Singapore normally will phone first. I mean, it's not that we don't. The thing is, it's not that we don't want to get crashed. I mean, people are not ready. Oh, in Singapore, suddenly not even in, right? That's why we call first usually. You better call me first because I don't look so handsome when you if you're not around. I dress very simple. I just do my work, and you probably won't recognize me. You come at the wrong time. So normally people will say, "Okay, I'm coming." Then we get ready. Okay, and then something interesting about the house. You notice when you know a friend well. The definition is the person will invite you to his house. Sooner or later, if it's close to you, he'll invite you to the house. So why don't you come to my house? And then you invite each other to the house. Okay? And then E, by providing them with material needs. That whenever they need something, just help them. So Buddhists are helpful to each other. And then the teachers, okay, how do the teachers respond? The duties of the teachers is the last part. F, they restrain him from bad, a bit like the parent just now, right? So my duty is tell him, hey, don't do this, that's not good, right? And then exhort him to do good, the positive side, like cultivate your mind, be happy. And then H, they, with a good mind, show him compassion, right? With compassionate, with patient, we try to teach you. And then they let him hear what he has not heard before. We bring all these suttas. The wonderful thing about suttas is, wow, I never heard this before. Very often people like to say that. J, they clarify what he has heard. So I explain to you, right? That's my task. That's why I have to study the suttas first. Otherwise, how to explain to you? So you need to know what it is first. In fact, nowadays you find we have a website and we have all our suttas online. A lot of people know, even monks, they will write in, they say, I need your help, can you answer this question for me, and so on. Okay, so this is one way we help people, by clarifying problems that they have. And then they show him the way to heaven. Okay, notice here Buddha said to heaven, they said to nirvana. Here basically to happiness. And then after that, from there you practice impermanence, you go to nirvana. So this is for the worldly people, but you find sooner or later the Buddha will talk about the deeper teachings, because the teachings ended here. Then the Buddha summarizes everything in a poem. So we finish up with this poem, page 41. Look at the poem. So the Buddha recites, in other words, to this young man. He says, mother and father are the direction in front, teachers are the southern quarter, wife and children are the direction at the back, friends and companions are the north. Okay? This is in English. But in Pali, you have 8 syllables to every line, and it can be sung, Mata Pita Disa Puba, Acharya Dakina Disa, Kuta Dara Disa Pacha, Mita Macha Cha Uttara. So you can hear the rhythm. Okay, the 8 syllables. This is called shloka. The Dhammapada is full of this kind of verse. In fact, I remember in the Thai temple they used to sing. And they don't sing this, but the tune is similar. Okay, it goes like this. Mata Pita Disa Puba, Acharya Dakina Disa, Kuta Dara Disa Pacha, Mita Macha Cha Uttara. So you can sing, because it is written in the what's called shloka style. Not all verses are there, but this one we can recognize it. And then it continues. And slaves and workers, the nadir, and recluse and Brahmins, the zenith. These are the directions to be honored by one who would be fit to be a house lord in his clan. All right. And then the wise man, accomplished in moral virtue, refined and eloquent, humble, free from pride, such a one wins fame. The early riser, industrious, unshaken by troubles, flawless in conduct, wise, such a one wins fame. Hospitable, a maker of friends, wise in words, free from stinginess, forerunner, leader, guide, such a one wins fame. Generosity and pleasant speech and beneficial conduct here, and impartiality towards all things, everywhere, as is fitting. These are what holds the world together, like a linchpin holding the chariot wheel. Without such welfare, no mother would receive from her son any honor or respect, or the father from his son. But since there are these things, the wise regard as welfare, therefore they bring greatness and win their praises. So what the Buddha is saying here, these teachings are not just Buddhist teachings, these are universal ethics. How the family, how society stays healthily together. Right? So at the end of this, the young man is very happy. Section 43, the young man says, sadhu, sadhu, excellent, excellent. And then he takes refuge in the 3 jewels. So the father's job is done here. He managed to bring the son to the Buddha. And now this Sigala probably goes on to practice the Dharma. And we have a beautiful ending of the story. So now let us reflect on this wonderful occasion. Let us calm ourselves for a short while and remember, reflect this time we spend. It's a very rare occasion when we come together in peace and we manage to stay right through the whole gathering in peace, in focus, in patience, to listen to the Buddha's teaching. We are slowly building up our wisdom so that we are not nose-led by others in the wrong way. We think for ourselves, we observe and we learn and practice the right and good things. That is the purpose of this gathering. Reflecting in this way is wonderful good karma. By the power of such karma, may we understand the Buddha's teaching even more clearly and be blessed with the courage and wisdom to aspire to stream winning, to take the first step on the Eightfold Path in this life itself. And by the same token, by the power of the three jewels and all the good deeds we have done today especially, we send out loving kindness to ourselves, may we be well and happy, to our loved ones, that they may be well and happy, to all the people in this house who have fostered us, may they be well and happy. To all those who have been kind and supportive of us, may they be well and happy. And also to those who are seeking the Dharma, practicing the Dharma, may they find the true teaching and the true goal in this life itself. And may all the people in this area, the people that we meet, people that we know, be well and happy too. And finally, may all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
We move right arm.